What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today, we're taking a look at a game called Abandoned Ship. You might remember when we played this one last time, all we had was the combat campaign in the earliest beta that they gave me there, the earliest alpha that they gave me. Sorry, alphas still have features going in, betas are feature complete, and they're bug squishing. I got my wrong terminology today. I'm sorry. I don't have my real reviewer's hat on today. I don't have that on today. Today, I am hatless. I've got headphones on. Those are kind of like a hat depending on how big they are, but that's not the minutia we're talking about here today. Abandoned Ship is released at story mode, and so we are going to dive straight on in and check it out. So let's play some Abandoned Ship. I vaguely remember how to play the game, and I think it'll be alright. My Adventure. No, that's not going to be its name. The name of the adventure is going to be Adventure Movement Saily Quest. There we go. Adventure Movement Saily Quest. Difficulties on normal. Player-generated names are looking good. We've got the world seed right there. Let's go with the best number that ever existed. And then we'll continue on in. A wild chorus, the birth of monster. In that moment, the final strand is cut. A burst of clarity. The horror of your recent existence dawns upon you. Escape is all you can think of. The tentacles flail wildly in the water. People drop to their knees, some through fear and others through adulation. Their god is manifest. You watch from your position of privilege on a private balcony. You notice your two bodyguards are distracted and enraptured. Strike them down! Flee this accursed place! Instinctively grabbing something, you smash it down on the head of the first guard. Shocked surprise registers on the second before he too is down. You're unsure whether they are dead or unconscious. You feel a drip from your fingers. You look down at your improvised weapon, a small idol of father. It is cracked and has cut your hand. You are drifting, but something inside you snaps back to reality. Oops, there goes gravity. You have to move. You have to move fast. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. The cells offer the safest route to freedom. You stride into the prison with feigned authority. Doesn't matter. The place is unguarded in their moment of triumph. Escaping alone will be futile, so you grab the keys from the guard room and approach prisoners. Who will you unlock first? We've got a navigator, a gunner, a marine, a surgeon, and a sailor. Pretty self-explanatory what all of those do. We essentially already have one of those things should we desire it. And so my thought is we're going to take a navigator, we're going to take a gunner, and we're going to take a sailor. The reason being is the last time I played this game, they seemed to be the most useful. The marine is nice to have, don't get me wrong. Like, I like having the marine, and he's cool. The surgeon is nice to have, but these three are the ones that I view as being positively vital in order to do well. The navigator allows you to move around a little bit better in combat. The gunner, gotta have that because you gotta shoot some cannons at some Maz. And then the sailor is really good at fixing the ship, which actually is really an understated action. Being able to repair your ship is gonna save you a lot of money. I would recommend it. And then the captain functions as a level 2 of all of those things. So, let's dive straight on in. You and your crew members surge through the labyrinthine passages. Finally, a door. Light seeps in through the cracks in the frame. You close your eyes for a moment as the sea breeze brushes against your face. Looking down the winding path ahead, you see what you had hoped for, a ship. At anchor, it was likely stolen and repurposed by the cult. It's time to put it to better use. Like, are we a part of the cult and we just decided that, like, summoning Cthulhu monsters is one step too far? Like, I'm curious about what happened here. Like, what was our shift in mentality? Like, were we a sacrifice or were we one of them? Because in the picture, it looked like we had the hood on and everything too. And that calls into question the judgment of the captain. I don't want to be part of a crew with a guy who's in a cult as the captain. That's all I'm saying. The next thing you know, he's having you drink weird fluids and you're like coughing and sputtering and dying. So this is the main interface that the game is going to function by. At its core, the game is basically an RTS with like turn-based actions that occur when you assign people to different stations. We need them to climb up on the ship right now, and the next thing we need is for them to cut the moorings. And so we'll cut those moorings right there. Yep, you guys go ahead and take care of business. The moorings are cut. And now that that's all done and taken care of, put the navigator on the ship's wheel, right? That's the sailor. The navigator needs to be on the ship's wheel so that we can sail away rapidly. Come sail away, come sail away, come sail away on ships. Dozens of furious cultists charge the jetty as you pull away, a high priest at their head. His scream reaches your ears and drips with scorn. Heed me, betrayer! Our Father knows and sees you always. You will never escape his embrace. As he speaks, the cultists disperse, no doubt to begin their pursuit in their own vessels. They'll be sending ships after us. We should probably get out of here. Seems like a good plan. Let's get the hell out of here. The coastal fortifications open fire on the ship as it leaves the jetty. There are mortar shells incoming. Spread out! Everybody spread! Different areas. We're about to get hit by mortars. Yeah, I was going to say, you don't want to be all in one spot. A mortar shell has reduced crew member to 0 health. So we have to stabilize them. You grab people and you go over to here. And then after that, what we'll do is we will assign everybody. The barrage has damaged the ship hull. On the bottom left of the screen is a bar that shows the hull health. Did we not pick him up? He shouldn't be down. Is he dead? Well, I reloaded it, and I went through again, and this time he died again. In the original alpha, that guy doesn't die. He's stabilized, so I guess he's not dead. But in the original alpha, you picked him back up, and he was a part of the crew or whatever. The ship's damaged. Fine. I'm not going to think about things as though it's the alpha. Let's just pretend like we're moving forward and new things are happening. Down here in the bottom right-hand corner, the ship is damaged. We need to fix the sails. We need to fix some of the guns over here. I think we can fix that too, but I don't think it matters for right now. With our damaged crew members, let's see if we can figure out which cannons are busted. Let's fix the cannons the best we can over here. And it looks like that's all coming back together. So the helm is a little bit damaged at the moment. From these wheels, it's not over yet. Take cover. Oh, good lord. I think there's a take cover button or something like that, but it doesn't look like we have access to it. He just busted a hole in my ship. And so now that we've got holes in the ship, what that does, we've got a little water meter over here. We're going to be taking on water, unfortunately, and water weight is not a good thing. You got to be careful about it. Then we can use the pump over here to man the winches and get the water up out of the hull. This has never actually been a problem for me. In playing the combat demo for like 5 or 6 times the last time I played it, I never really had to pump water. It just sort of resolved itself as long as you kept holes out of the hull. And so keep that in mind. I think there's still water on us maybe. Keep going. There we go. So the water gauge is now empty down here at the bottom. Something else on the ship is damaged, but I'm pretty sure it's just general damage that's gone to the ship. It's not to any specific parts in general. Now, we didn't take any more damage right there. However, we have flames that we need to put out. Flames will do damage to the hull over time, and so it's a really good plan to make sure that you put those out about as rapidly as possible. They're not quite as deadly as, like, hull breaches, but they're still a priority. We're out of range, but stay alert, men. And so we can leave combat right here now that he's been stabilized. Oh yeah, looky right there. We've got ourselves a world map now, and we can just sail around. You gotta have like a jaunty sailor tune. If you don't have a jaunty sailor tune, like what do you actually have in this whole thing? You can see the whole map by clicking a highlighted button. Okay, so that's a new thing. There is the world as we know it for right now. This is the map of the immediate area. If you want to go to a new area, you must move through the gate that has been highlighted at the bottom of the screen. Other gates cannot be opened yet. Okay, and then we've got the exploration map. Let's just sail around for a minute and see what's going on. It's possible I may use up way too much of my food doing this, but like I want to see if there's any events or any other things we can do down here before we do anything else. Last time I played the game, the food was not working. It was not in the game yet. Is that like a whaling spot right there? I saw something in the water, but it might have just been... I don't know. It wants me to go to the gate at the bottom, so I guess there must not be any events around here. I would like it if you could use the scroll bar in the middle of the mouse. The middle mouse button to zoom out like that. So that like you had like intermediate levels of view as well. So you could be here, you could zoom in a little bit, you could zoom out a little bit. Apparently we're on like a rocket-propelled ship right now. This thing is moving. There's the spot it wants us to go, so let's escape from this location. The gate is locked. Locked gates can be opened by completing a set of events. Okay, and so apparently we've got event markers. Let's have a look. Maybe that's just the event marker that we have to do right there. Let's have a look at it. I bet it'll be okay. A patrolling cult ship has stumbled upon us. Man the guns. We will show them no mercy. How have they managed to gate the ocean? Like, I think we're skipping over a very real scientific point here, is that these guys have figured out how to install a gate that blocks the entire ocean. You can't go around it. That's some sci-fi hoopajoob right there. Alright, so with this enemy ship, I don't want you there. I want you on a gun, and I want you on a gun. I need the navigator, who is now freshly healed, up here. And then I would very much like for you... Can only the gunner go on grape shot now? Did they change that? Or is my grape shot... Oh, we're not in grape shot range. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to move us forward, if at all possible. Weapons will reload if someone is manning them. So it wants me to shoot some guns at people. Go ahead and target right there. And go ahead and target right there. Perfect. And so there it is. We've managed to blast the enemy. We can pause the game with the space bar, so there it is. We're going through a little bit of tutorial action right now. It's okay. It's probably good to refresh the memory. Once you dismiss the message, you can... Yeah, that's fine. I'm not really worried about that. I would like to move forward if I can, but I don't think they've unlocked maneuvers yet. I don't think those are necessarily available. Sailor guy. He was a sailor guy. He let cannonballs go fly through the air towards enemy ships. That's right. You didn't think Avril Lavigne shit was going to happen today. You thought I was kidding. Orders have been issued. So, let's wait and see what happens. There we go. We need to move closer. And we need to move closer, like, badly. This right here controls the spacing between you and the enemy ship. Depending on what you want to do... Oh, they want me to shoot chain shot. Okay, put the sailor on the chain shot then. It's going to take him a little while to charge it because he's not very good at gunning. But, like, I don't know. Oh, we have to fire that one manually. Is there a way to speed up the game at all right now? The enemy ship is pretty whooped on right now. But essentially the way it functions in this game is the more damaged your sails are, the harder your time you have maintaining the spacing that you want with the enemy. And so it's a really good idea to mess up their sails and make sure that they can't move around. What you'll see right there is once we hit their sails, we're now gaining on them very, very well because their sails took damage. Our sails had taken damage too, which is why we weren't able to close that gap right there. And so if you want to maintain the offensive capabilities that you have on your ship, because it's possible in this game to build yourself both close range and long range ships. There's sniping ships, there's ramming ships, there's all kinds of stuff you can do in this game with your ship with a custom loadout. And it's up to you what you want to do. You want to build your ship towards the spacing that you personally want to maintain. That's the best way to play it. And if you build your ship entirely for long range, you should focus on keeping the enemy the hell away from you and not damaging your sails. If you want a close range ship, you're going to want to focus on building things that allow you to damage their sails really, really badly and keep you at point blank range so that you can constantly keep your weapons at effective distance. There we go. We'll pull in a little bit closer. And now we can use the swivel gun for the grape shot over here, which you can use to actively kill off their crew, which is a surprisingly effective strategy in this game. It works really well. If you focus on killing their crew, half the time I don't even destroy their ship in this game when I play the combat demo, and I beat it almost every single time through level 10. I rarely use anything other than crew targeting maneuvers. Things like acid, things like grape shot, those are all really, really good for killing them off and forcing them to go to stations they don't want to be inside of. Aside from that, if you damage their crew members, they'll go over here to the surgical bay, and then you can throw acid jars over, and the acid jars will soak that area and make it so that they lose health when they're trying to heal over there. There's some very vicious strategies you can play in this game, and they work quite well. I keep left-clicking and making foolish mistakes. Yeah, just keep blasting away, although I would like it if you would actually hit the enemy ship. There you go. See, I'm not upset with you. It's just that, like, I want you to do the things that you're supposed to be doing right now. And, oh, I'm supposed to be ramming. I forgot about that. Let's ram their ship. And so we got to brace for impact. This little button right here will light up anytime the ship is about to, like, shake or become tumultuous. And so there it is. We rammed their ship. The enemy failed their brace test. The impact threw one of their crew overboard. And so if somebody gets knocked overboard, you've got to go, and this thing right here will fish them out of the water, in case you were wondering about that. I also think we can board, I think. Like, I think we can jump overboard and kill their crew if we so desire it. Oh, that guy managed to climb up out of the water. We weren't able to actually board their ships the last time I played the game from what I remember. But it's a pretty effective way to wipe out the enemy. It's not the worst strategy I've ever seen. I think their crew is down. So everybody's going to come back overboard. Grab what you can and be quick about it. More ships will be on the way. At the end of the battle, you were able to salvage everything of value. So there it is. We've got 20 loot. You don't need to be worried about repairing your sections or healing your crew. It happens automatically when you go back to exploration. As long as you have water pumps, going back to exploration will automatically empty the water gauge as well. Hooray. So I'm not going to worry about healing the crew. Let's just bail on out. And the gate is open. Let's go to the next area. So we're on map number 2 now. It is unexplored. It's going to take us 25 food to get there. So let's do our thing, boo-boo. You announce to the crew that you need to take stock and are not to be disturbed. In the captain's cabin, you find some clean clothes, most likely belonging to the poor previous occupant before the cult had their way with the ship. They're ship-osexuals. They love getting jiggy with a ship. It feels good to be finally out of the flowing ceremonial robes. You stow them neatly away, knowing that they may yet have their use. I examine myself in the mirror. You gotta check for, like, bumps and boobos and whatnot. We are the severed one. Okay. You are the severed one. Once devotion to Father was all the future you needed. Now something has changed, and you're no longer an unquestioning crucial part of the whole. Now you are severed and free. I can edit my name in the crew management menu. I don't really care about that right now. You don't recognize the face looking back at you. Who were you? All of a sudden, all you're certain of is that your past was stolen away by a being you know as Father. Some spark within you pierced the fog of your blind devotion. Now you must kindle it, if you're to have any chance of remaking yourself. Then, the hunt for answers and revenge can begin. I don't know why I'm so bad at reading today. Apparently, my reading inability is popping in on me right now. Looks like I could change my skin tone around, but that's about it. Doesn't look like the lady captain is in the game yet, but I'm sure it's coming. They wouldn't put the button there if it wasn't. Let's confirm and go. You reemerge onto the deck and your crew snap to attention. We may have escaped, you begin, but we are not safe yet. We must make port, then go our separate ways. It's me they're after. You go to your cabin and slump in your chair. Moments later, a strong undercurrent of exhaustion pulls you into a deep sleep. Still loved and always in his thoughts, you were the first, but he knew something within you had changed, and thus you were marginalized and became a symbolic icon with no real power. You didn't care. Something in you was gaining strength, and little by little the fog was clearing. A sharp knock on the door snaps you awake. Moments later, you stride back on deck to issue commands. The cult fortress is far from inhabited lands. We'll need to navigate through open waters before we can find a port. Alright, so turn on the shanties and let's do this thing. We can review the ship. This is the lone ship view. It allows you to change your default settings that'll be used in combat. So I assume it'll allow me to assign people around where they'll be at the beginning of combat. My preferred distance is right there so that I can use grape shot. You gentlemen will be right there, and you will be manning the grape shot cannon before we go into combat. That will save the positions, and so we're good to go. I think we should be able to go back to the world map now. We can bring the ship about. We can only do this if we have our maneuver bar full. Think of the maneuver bar as your limit break bar. You can do very special things in combat as long as your maneuverable bar is up. You can do a bunch of random special things that either negate enemy effects, give you effects, and stuff like that. You can also choose a side to face the enemy in case you've got differentiated cannons on either side of the ship. So one side might have fire cannons and ice cannons. The other side might have acid and hull breakers. And you want to swap those around based on your needs. You would actually change your facing in order to make that work. Back to the exploration map. Let's have a look around. You must continue trying to escape the cult by fleeing from the exploration map. Locate the exit gate and complete the required number of events to unlock it. Alright. I mean, are there other things in this area? Reach the cult, extends far, escape this area, and you can search for a port. Alright. I don't know if this is just going to be like a consecutive series of battles, or if there's anything we can actively do on any of these little islands and jetties and juts of land. We'll have a look around and see. I mean, I'm a fan of sailing games and anything in general that's nautical. So we'll have a look around, but I have my doubts there's actually going to be anything around here. In the final version of the game, with some of the screenshots that I've seen so far, it seems as though, what is this? You steel yourself and just about retain your composure for the benefit of the crew as two cult ships passed a ways off the bow in quick succession. The arrangement of ships will make escape difficult, if not impossible. Your window of opportunity is minuscule. You need to make a call. My only hope is to deliver a knockout blow to the first ship before dealing with the second. Give 'em hell. Hell yeah, we don't run from fights. We do this thing. Let's get him up and on the chain shot. You gentlemen, pick a generic shot to fire at and make sure that you don't miss. And I think this should be alright. It doesn't look like... Oh, they've got a mortar. That's unfortunate. Okay, so we need to close the gap. They've got a mortar, which is going to hurt us a lot if we don't move forward. Hopefully we can bust a couple holes in their ship. Come on. Give me something I can work with here. Perfect. Chain shot is out. Captain, go fix that hole in the hull. I'm going to keep working on that until we can get close enough to start hitting them with the grape shot. Keep firing and just scattering damage around the best that you can. Our ship is damaged and we have taken on some water. So the captain will go ahead and resolve that. The water has been vented and we are good to go. We got another hole right there, though. These guys love busting holes in me. They are enjoying that far, far too much. Alright, shots are out. Go ahead and do that right there. We can probably fix the sails a little bit as well. I need that chain shot recharged. Come on. Get that chain shot going. Oh, I didn't notice it swivels. Fix the sails real fast. Chain shot's good to go. Perfect. That should allow us to close the gap. You swap on over to the grape shot very rapidly. As soon as you're done repairing the sails, actually swap out. You fix the sails. I want to maintain our advantage here if I can. You go over to grape shot. We're going to start pelting the crew and giving them something to think about. We've got a gathering right there on the cannons, so that's good. Nobody's manning the mortar as well, which is something that is super advantageous. You don't want them to fire mortars at you. Oh, I could have had a tri-shot right there. Go ahead and try to drive him off the mortar if you can. What else is damaged? We have no cannons around that are busted up, so that's good. Anything else need repairs? Our ship is looking a little bit murky right now. This is a bit of a problem. Keep firing grape shot at him. The more hurt he is, the happier I am a camper. And then we'll also try to run the captain off right there. Oof. Is that like an explosive shell? What was that? Nastiness. Give me a shot right there. He's going to run off to the med bay. Fire all cannons on the med bay. It's going to take him... Actually, he's healing really rapidly. I'm surprised how fast he's healing. Oh, because they have a surgeon. Yeah. That'll make things more complicated. Go ahead and fire that to right there and force that medic to stop doing what he's doing. We have multiple breaches opened up on the ship. Sailor, go take care of it. It seems like the enemies are quite a bit more deadly than the last time I played the game. These guys are definitely a lot more nasty. They're hitting us way harder, and we didn't get any repairs in between the initial fights. And so normally, get back on what you're doing over here. I'm not worried about the water pumps. Fix whatever you can fix. Just make it happen, Captain. It looks like they may have nerfed Grape Shot a little bit from the beta demo, too, that I played, or the alpha demo. Grape Shot used to only take like 2 shots to knock somebody out completely. Now, it appears to do quite a bit of a better job at sucking. So I may actually leave Grape Shot alone. It doesn't look like it's doing enough damage to really justify versus going straight after the enemy and just destroying their shit. So there it is. Their ship is down. We're going to have to pray on the next one. I don't know. We might be okay. We might not be okay. I'm going to put some people around. All of their crew are dead. We'll see what we salvage from there. You stand over here. Fix whatever you can. These cannons are obviously a little bit thuggish, ruggish off on this side. There's no time to gather plunder, for the second ship is upon you. Will you stand and declare for double the riches or flee because your life is a more valuable treasure? Oh, I don't know. It's a bad plan. I might stand my ground, but our ship is looking pretty bad at the moment. It's looking a little bit fragmented. It's looking like a hard drive that ain't had no love for way, way too long. And that doesn't raise our health. And so I think maybe we can only do hull integrity once we get back to shore. I thought that when I played it last time, when you were repairing each of these individual modules, it went up slightly. But I must be remembering things wrong. It's not the first time that I've remembered something wrong. Let's see here. There's no time for plunder, so do we attack or do we regain our footing and go? I don't know. We did punch a hole in their lines. Forget that. It's time for some thuggish, ruggish action. We're going to do this thing. But we're not going to do it in this episode. I will see you all next time. Thank you for joining me for an episode of Abandoned Ship. I will do 1 or 2 more episodes, and we'll check out what the game has to offer now that it's no longer just like a linear text-based combat game. Now we've actually got an open world map. I'm curious to see what happens. I will see you all later. Thank you for stopping on in. If you want to get the game for yourself, it's currently on sale on Steam. You can get it down in the description. And if you like this video and what I do on the internet, providing you with all the indie games you could ever want, hit the video with a like. It helps out tremendously, more than you know, and it only takes a second. I'll see y'all later. Hi to everybody, and thanks for stopping on in.